Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. It's Christmas Eve. Hi. Chris Redd started talking about Christmas. He spoke to WBZ. Chris Redd said, "Christmas, let's go. I'm Santa Claus. Well, I would dress up as him for the kids. I have a huge family. It's the best time. Spending time with families, how I've been working my way back outside and eventually back to the stage. I've been taking a break from work, so I've been able to see some family I rarely get to see, talking smack and hanging out. Plus, I'm the only famous one, so I'm that cousin everybody knows." You may recall Chris Redd was attacked outside the Comedy Cellar a few months back, and he said, "Funny enough, this is the most time I've ever gotten to just go and be with family. I've got people in Mississippi that I rarely get to see, and I took some time to be with them. I'll be in Chicago to see my people there. Being able to spend time with them has helped me put this whole thing in perspective, too. Like, my face is messed up, yes, but I'm getting connect with my family I haven't seen in a long time. A reminder to find balance outside of work, and hopefully it doesn't have to come from healing from a fight." Does he miss SNL? Yeah, there are elements of SNL I miss for sure, because it's a unique job. There's nothing like it. It's tough and competitive, and being at the forefront of the conversations of pop culture-wise was an amazing opportunity, and I'm grateful for that. I'm about my creative freedom, though. After everything that's happened, I'm focused on building my comedic legacy. I'll be back on the road officially in January, doing a new tour, and I'll be on tour next summer as well. That's awesome. He says, "I have a few special projects in the works. One I'm really excited about is an action comedy called Cyber Monday. I'm going to start filming it soon. I'm also filming a sequel to Scare Me, a comedy horror that I previously did. The stand-up special I just did was me figuring out, why am I like this? On the next story, I'm going to be asking, why are we like this? And you best believe I'm going to be using the experience of being sucker punched to ask why we as a people are the way we are. That topic was already planned before the world hit me in the face, but now I just have more stuff to talk about." Are you watching Welcome to Chippendales? It's really good. You should watch it. The AV Club caught up with Kumail Nanjiani, who stars in Welcome to Chippendales, which you should be watching. The AV Club said, "Welcome to Chippendales is a dark, true story, but the male stripping in the 80s setting also make it campy." Yeah, I've been trying to describe to people. The show is played at like 1.2 speed if it were a podcast. Like, it's a little ramped up, but not too much. Kumail said, "It's a dark story, but we always knew the stripping would add an air of fun to it, even when you don't expect it to." When Steve, his character, and Irene meet for the first time, they have an awkward chat about caffeine-free Coke and how to best use ice. Behind them, a bachelorette party gets lap dances from the male strippers. We thought the contrast was powerful and we could use it when the show needed energy or levity. It's a great tool to have. Filming the actual dances was tough for the dancers. It was physically demanding. They rehearsed so much. I never saw them make any mistakes during the takes I saw. Just as it lightens up the show's energy, it also did that on the set. Hey, remember last year on New Year's Eve, Miley Cyrus and Pete Davidson hosted New Year's Eve together? Good news, Miley's back. Bad news, no Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson replaced by Dolly Parton this year, okay. But the lineup does include some comedians. SNL's Chloe Fineman and Sarah Sherman will be on, as will the Please Don't Destroy guys. That's good. But there is Pete Davidson news from comicbookresources.com, your home for comedy news. The headline, Supergirl writer wanted Pete Davidson to play Lex Luthor's nephew. Yeah, all right. John Cryer, who played Lex Luthor on Supergirl, says one of the show's writers pitched casting Pete Davidson to play Lex Luthor's nephew, Lenny Luthor. That would have been amazing. I would have watched. That's the entire story. There's no details. I can't tell you anything about Lenny Luthor other than that would have been a brand new character to the DC universe. I don't know how close they got. I don't know what Lenny Luthor would have been like. I imagine he would have gotten a lot of dates and, maybe he had a particular superpower, Leave it alone, Johnny Mac. And Yale Daily News wrote about the Pete Davidson effect. Johnny Mac, are you stretching? Is it Christmas Eve? Is there not much real comedy news? I don't know. You tell me. Pete Davidson, through some combination of genuine vulnerability and great PR, has put forth a persona of the kind of sincerity and down-to-earthness that makes him hard to dislike. The Yale Daily News writes, he's not aggressively cocky or arrogant. He has no known affiliation to neo-fascism or Scientology, and he's never been accused of groping anyone. That's kind of the bar at this point. There's something else, too, a phenomenon. Urban Dictionary has conveniently coined the Pete Davidson effect, whereby public and peer influence determine attractiveness. It also might tie into a zeitgeisty pluralistic ignorance, a social psychology term for the belief that one's personal opinion doesn't line up with that of the majority, and the subsequent agreement to go along. It's just like any other viral phenomenon. Pete Davidson is actually so sexy, says the Twitterverse. BuzzFeed and Cosmo grasp onto a, quote, controversial, unquote, opinion that won't mean any real trouble for them if they've misread the room. It becomes entrenched in a cultural climate that won't stay still for more than a few months. The Yale Daily News says, there's nothing all that unattractive about Pete Davidson. He kind of looks like somebody I could have gone to Jewish summer camp with. All it takes is one tiny hot woman making googly eyes at him and a perfectly timed paparazzi flick to make everybody think, I guess people think he's cute. And from there on out, the world is Pete's oyster. if oysters had boobs. The Hollywood Reporter wrote about the 5 comic voices to watch on TikTok right now. All right, well, finish the podcast, then your phone's right in your hand. Why don't you play on TikTok? Here's who to check out. Chris Collins, Chris with a K. Chris Collins, a.k.a. Call Me Chris, with K's where the C's should be, has created an entire universe of comedic personas, including Toddler Riley, Dude Bro Chad, Boston Mom Janet, and unsmiling Russian woman Katrina. The Canadian former hairdresser who did hair on the CW's Riverdale joined TikTok in 2020 and soon amassed millions of fans. The Hollywood Reporter also recommends DeMarcus Sean. TikTok users often joke that DeMarcus Sean must have lived 100 lives, judging from the number of everyday scenarios he's able to hilariously reenact. For example, the retail employee asking if you want to sign up for the store's credit card, the soccer mom playing at her kid's game, and the Animal Planet host handling a dangerous snake. Yeah? 6.3 million followers, Johnny Mac. Stop rolling this story. Jake Krantz, Krantz, has 2.4 million followers. The Hollywood Reporter said, it's hard to define Krantz's style of humor, which incorporates elements of absurdity, nostalgic relatability, and no shortage of cringe. On TikTok, the creator often uses Snapchat photos of himself as different characters for voiceless skits. Bowman Martinez-Reed has 1.5 million followers. Flanked by his best friend Eden and sister Alyssa, the CAA reps Martinez-Reed, a.k.a. Bowmanizer, lampoons reality TV tropes for his TikTok audience. Running gags include Martinez-Reed's ongoing Dangerfield-esque riffs on disrespect. All right. And Caroline Cladonis has 347,000 followers. The Hollywood Reporter said there's something uncanny about the chemistry between Cladonis and herself. She's repeatedly gone viral for starring opposite herself in stand-ups of classic rom-coms that offer the perfect blend of satire and earnest appreciation. Yeah. Paste Magazine did a list of the best comedy albums of 2022. I read some of them the other day. I left off at number 6, which is Amy Miller's California King, recorded at the San Francisco Punchline. A raucous half hour touching on bathtub... how do you say this? Keep it clean. It's Christmas Eve. Thing that makes you go blind. That, in a bathtub. That, okay? Whew. Dodged one there. 40-year-old behavior and her bathroom signs. Her improvised crowd work is effortlessly woven into the scripted parts of the set, so much so that the pre-written bits, including a casual Louis C.K. joke and a very good one at that, arising from an audience interaction, feel like organic moments too. That sounds like a good one. Number 5 is Irene Tew's We're Done Now. Her delivery is snappy, but never too quickly for listeners to keep up. Between her skillful pacing and self-deprecating anecdotes, Irene Tew comes across as a natural comedian, though from the smoothness of the set, you know that she's practiced like nobody's business. All right, what does she talk about? Vaccines, which sounds like a beat-up topic, but Irene focuses on the social minutiae around which vaccine people choose. She regularly employs bait and switch when it comes to overly discussed topics. All right, that's cool. Let's do one more. Maeve Higgins, A Very Special Woman. 1 minute, she's imagining her ideal funeral right before her wedding day. Flower girls, scattering lily petals, the works. The next, she's telling us how to make friends. You can tell Higgins is a wordsmith from the way she minds a bit about her mouth, describing it in a number of funny, creative ways. For example, where the flesh of my face ends. Sounds good, and I'm going to hold on to the last 3. So that is your comedy news for today. Tomorrow's episode, I already recorded it. You know, it's pretty good. We'll talk about The Office's best Christmas episodes, some good jokes from Justin McKinney, and a look at some of the top British shows of the year. So new episode tomorrow and a normal episode on Monday, my top 21 comedy specials of the year, my personal list. So follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows. Merry Christmas. See you tomorrow. Or if you want to just download 2 episodes on Monday, I get it. All right, here's the pitch. 5 stories, they're all good news. It's called 5 Good News Stories. No negative news, just good news. Nice, easy way to start your day. Hopefully a smile. Hi, I'm Johnny Mac, host of 5 Good News Stories. You get the premise? There's 5 stories, and they're all good news. So the number 5, Good News Stories. 5 Good News Stories. Follow the show wherever you get your podcasts.